Here's what happened. Round 4 of the FIM MXGP Motocross World Championship, the qualifying race for MX2 at Trentino. Number 61, Jorge Prado, grabbed the whole shot, but it was over on the outside into turn 2 that championship leader, Paul Jonas, found himself right at the back. The sun was shining here, the first real hard-packed circuit of 2018. Prado led, Thomas Kjær-Olsen, Conrad Mewse, and then the two white bikes of Henry Jacobi and Thomas Covington were 4th and 5th. Ben Watson just behind them in 6th on the opening lap or so. Conrad Mewse coming towards us here in orange was in 3rd, but after the first 5 laps started to come under attack from the 64. The American Thomas Covington on the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna. He put the Hitachi Acer KTM rider under pressure as the Khmer Yamaha of Watson started to close in on both of them. A mistake here on the exit of the turn of the 426 allowed Covington up the inside and into 3rd. And then it was the turn of Watson to go through as well. He eventually found his way through into 4th with about a handful of laps to go in what was the battle of the Brits. Prado was on his own up front though. Thomas Kjær-Olsen not able to do anything about the young Spaniard's pace. This battle continued for a number of laps between Conrad Mewse and the Yamaha of Ben Watson. Meanwhile, Paul Jonas was fighting his way through traffic after a very poor start by his standards, and the rider who was yet to lose a race had some work to do. He made an aggressive move when the two lines came together. Alvin Ostlund felt the brunt of that one. The Latvian didn't even flinch. Watson made a slight bobble in the closing stages as he started to close in on Thomas Covington. But in the end, it was an easy victory for Jorge Prado. His first ever qualifying race in MX2. Thomas Kjær-Olsen came home in 2nd. Thomas Covington was 3rd, Ben Watson 4th. And Conrad Mewse came home 5th. Another good ride for the STC Racing Husqvarna of Henry Jacobi ahead of the two F&H Kawasaki's of Adam Sterry and Ruben Fernandez. They were your top 8 in the MX2 qualifying here at MXGP of Trentino at Pietramarata.
Yeah, finally got my first qualifying race of the season. I lost it in Valkenswaard in the last lap, so now I had a good start and pulled really good laps in the beginning, and then just trying to ride with the flow of the track, and yeah, ready for tomorrow.
In MXGP, Tony Cairoli from the centre of the start grabbed a good hole shot, but in the centre of the screen, Tim Gajser upside down. He took a handful of riders with him. Tony Cairoli ran Herlings wide coming out of turn 2. Guess what? Herlings replayed the favour and the compliment in the very next turn. He managed to hold on to the lead as well, just from his teammate Glenn Koldenoff. Dessau was 3rd on the Monster Energy Kawasaki. And thought the Belgian would give these guys a bit of a chase down in the early moments of the race. Jeffrey Herlings, though, started to pull clear of the 222 Cairoli, who in turn started to pull some distance over Dessau in 3rd. In fact, there wasn't a lot of change in the first 5 or 6 places throughout the whole moto. Everybody was pretty much the same pace. Everybody almost the same gap as well. Tim Gajser, though, was one of the guys on the charge. After picking himself up from the deck in dead last at turn 1, he started to work his way through as Romain Febvre, another poor starter, just outside the top 10, eventually found his way into 7th by the time the checkered flag fell. Wasn't so great for Kevin Strybos. He was out of 22nd as early as lap 4. Sean Simpson on the number 24 tried all moto to find his way past Arminas Jasikonis, but those two would come home 11th and 12th. Cairoli not able to do anything about Herlings today, though. But what can he do in the main race on Sunday? Both these guys have taken 3 wins apiece around this Pietramarata circuit. Jeffrey Herlings 3 times in MX2, Cairoli 3 times in the MXGP category. Nicely done there from Jeffrey Herlings as he leapfrogged over the top of that hill. Gajser continued to push right the way to the end of the moto. Found his way past Jose Butron and Petr Petrov in the closing stages of the race. The Bulgarian feeling the might of the HRC machine there. Guys who would eventually come home in 17th. But Jeffrey Herlings, who haven't won a qualifying race since Assen, the penultimate round in 2017, was back on song. He did it with a good start as well, the first time this year. There's a Red Bull KTM 1-2 in MXGP. Herlings winning over his teammate Cairoli. De Sale was third, Paulin was fourth, Koldenhoff, Van Hoorbeek, Vevre and Dupre, your top 8 here in Pietramarata.
Almost got first in the turn, but was second, and good pass Tony first lap straight away. And then, man, if I could get those starts on an average base, man, I would be so happy. But we keep working, and you see it's already getting better and better. So hopefully tomorrow we can put it out 2 times again, but it will be difficult. The field is strong, so we keep charging, keep trying to get better, and work on those starts.